was another question, Lydia. Yes, you.
Hello, my name is Hannah. I'm a freelance singer and I used to work in an artist management background. One of the things that interests me about what you said is that the fundraising element has to be something that's a sort of company-wide policy. And I know that sort of working as a freelance musician, a lot of musicians, and I guess artists more widely, don't want to engage with fundraising. And I think that there's a strange disconnect between an awareness that the fundraising is what allows artists to do their job, and the importance of that to them. And I was just wondering, as fundraisers, how do you go about trying to engage artists in that side of what you're trying to do, and using them as the resource that you have to offer people?
I did some work with a wonderful theatre director called Indigo Ltd, who joined the Tricycle Theatre, and she'd never done any fundraising before. And she was really scared of it, and she even had Lady Sainsbury, I think, came visited 3 times and she didn't dare ask her for money. I was like, if Lady Sainsbury's coming, then she really wants to give you some money, you need to ask her. And what clicked in for her was that she suddenly just said, fundraising is all about, all I'm doing is asking people to give me resources so I can do more of what I love doing. And it was a very simple mindset change from shit, I've got to ask somebody for money, to actually I'm just asking people to give me money so that I can do more of what I want to do. And I use that all the time now with artists. Yes.
I have a story which is actually the opposite way around, which was I used to sit on the board of Spitalfields Festival, and the chair at that point was Alan Moses, Lord Moses, and he admits this himself, this is not me telling tales out of school, his failing was that he asked for money too quickly, and when they didn't give money straight away, he just moved on to the next person. And we had to sit down with him and talk about what he was doing, because he was bringing the most extraordinary calibre of guests to concerts. But if they hadn't said, yes, I'll write you a cheque by halfway through the interval, he was kind of crossing them out as a dress book. And we ended up saying to him, and I still can't quite believe I said this to a lord, but basically your problem is you're going for sex on the first date, whereas really, as a fundraiser, we want to build a relationship. And that was the point that he said, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. This is not something that happens overnight. This is a process of a potential donor getting to know the organisation over an extended period of time and asking. I mean, you know, Susie Sainsbury coming 3 times is fantastic. So I think that there's somewhere in between the two, isn't there?
And by the way, this dilemma goes back forever, because there's been great art written in garrets by people with no money, and there's been great art written by grovelling to the Medici family in the medieval period. And so the challenge as to whether artists should in some way reject the filthy lucre or they should engage with it has always been a challenge. And it's no different today, striking a balance. It's just that if an organisation has an asset that they can harness, it's a real shame if you can't find ways of being able to engage those people to enjoy participating in the fundraising. And that's what's really needed is to unlock that time. I know one theatre organisation in which there is one donor who gives a considerable amount of money, and the one thing she wants is after every play to be able to sit down with the producer and talk it through with him. So it's a cup of coffee for that producer, it's worth a fortune to the organisation. If the producer said, I'm above that, then she would disappear as a donor.
I guess it also depends on the artist's relationship with the organisation, because if they're a visiting artist, they're slightly more detached from it. Whereas if they're regular and they, it's almost like, you could look at them as a cold and warm prospect potentially. So it's about what your relationship with them is like in the first place and how you're able to cultivate that.
But I would say that it's like anything else. There are particular skills in making small talk with anybody, and just practicing it is worth doing. So there are training courses now. The Association of British Orchestras is running them, for instance, on musicians involved in fundraising, to equip them with the skills. Because I think everybody's aware that chucking somebody into a room of what might look like very grand individuals, when you feel that you're just there as an artist, you don't feel that it's a level playing field. So it's rehearsing, as it is with most things in the performing arts.